We should be out broadcasting across the world. Let me retweet your tweet real quick.
Okay, cool.
I
love. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I really just, it's they make it so easy, right? Let's see. Yeah, here we are.
Yeah, and I got it changed to where it doesn't just say that it's you live streaming. It actually says the Barking Brown Show now, so it comes out. Yeah, you can look at the tweet. Of course, once you see the tweet, and also over on YouTube, to give a second for everybody to just join in real quick. We got some people jumping in there already. We got a little.
Chris.
We're getting some love there. We go Browns. That's right. Damn right.
Absolutely.
I don't have my captions up here. Here we go. So a little layout for the show tonight. We're going to talk Baker Mayfield. We're always going to talk Baker Mayfield. We're going to talk the defense, Joe Woods. Nick and myself did a bit of a deep dive. I know I felt really deep into the dive of Tony Fields. So we're going to individualize each of the prospects at the Browns. Well, not prospects anymore. Each of the new Browns. We did some deep dives. I've got some notes over here about Tony Fields. We'll talk about Tony Fields here a little bit. Okay. All right. We've got people. People are coming in. We'll get ready to get going here. Hi, everybody. Listen. So it's inverted, by the way. So I keep trying, like, now I'm pointing at Nick, but when I try to point at Nick, I do that. But I've learned. And we're getting
we got some spicy takes in here tonight.
We're just
Baker.
I love this man. I do.
Yeah.
I love him. He's great. So as we get everybody in here, we're gonna jump right in here. So I talked Baker Wars happened again, right, guys? They happened again. That's where we're gonna start. We're gonna go out the Baker Mayfield off the top. If people are curious where Nick and I stand on the Baker Wars.
There it is. Right there. Right there. You can't deny it. And a quick fun fact. So shout out to Chris who is in here. He posted a link that the Browns team shop like dramatically cut the older color rush, the ones with the stripes on the sleeves. So I've never owned a Browns jersey in my life. How that happened, I don't know. I got all kinds of Brown stuff, but
I understand.
The most secure Browns jersey you could get when you and I were coming up was either a left tackle or a kicker.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know the two jerseys I had?
I would love to know.
I had. This is the best part. It was the orange alternative jersey. I had an orange number 17 Braylon Edwards jersey. And then the one that is really bad is I had a Kellen Winslow jersey.
Okay. Well, who can blame you? We were all excited, right? And Tattoo Baker, shout out to you.
He's throwing you some more love down here.
You love to see it. You love to see it. But so quick finish of that story. I bought my first ever Browns jersey. It was a stitched Baker Mayfield color rush, and it was for the low price of $50.
No shit.
So, yeah. They had stitched Odell Beckham ones for $36, which I know.
Is that still going on, or did I miss that?
You know what? I'm not sure. I probably should have spread the word more because Chris did the solid of telling me. And so I was pretty excited about that purchase.
Okay. Hey, I was at the last Browns game I was at since I wasn't there last year. I was at it's of course the Freddie year. You know what? Thank you for posting this, Bree, because I'm going to be completely honest with you. I also had a Trent Richardson jersey.
Oh man, 33.
That year that I bought my Trent Richardson jersey was actually the year he got traded. So it was sub his rookie year. And I was in the field with the Army for 2 weeks I was in the Army National Guard for 9 years. And so I was out in the field for 2 weeks. At that time I was, how long ago was Trent Richardson? So I was young. We were younger.
Yeah.
So I was probably 20, 21 years old. And when I would go out in the field for 2 weeks, you would get like, it was more money than I would ever had in my entire life. It was like $1,000, right? So I always had money to spend on something. And I came home, went to Dunham's, and bought a 33 Trent Richardson. And he was traded a month later.
Yeah, I'd say that was probably what, like 2012-ish, 11?
I want to say it was 12, yeah, 2012.
Yeah.
Tattoo Baker down here has never bought a jersey.
Wow.
I completely understand that.
Yeah.
This Baker jersey, which I'm like so upset, then they then changed it, the jerseys to the new ones, and I have a Nick Chubb, which I'll wear later.
Gotcha.
This is great. This is great. I'm glad I'm not the only one about the 80 Winslow jersey. Bree, it looks like you also bought the Trent Richardson jersey, and he was traded a month later. That was turned out to be a blessing in disguise, guys. We dodged a bullet on the Trent Richardson situation. Tattoo Baker says never had a jersey, but he is a big t-shirt guy. I have a lot of t-shirts now.
There is an endless supply of Cleveland t-shirt companies for you to choose from.
GV Artwork is probably my favorite. If I had to give one, you're right, Nick. I mean, there's a million different ones you can go to. If you partake in That's What B Said's podcast, you can go. They have a bunch of shirts, and her name escapes me right now. The design lady that does their shirts, including the Stefanski Berry 20. Okay. We're like kind of stumbling out of this gate. I feel like we're just rambling here.
We are, but hey, it's all in good fun. Poor Trent.
He could not see that coming, and he couldn't find the hole. You're right, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
I can still see that first year of Trent and how we really thought like he was going to be what Nick Chubb ended up being.
Yeah.
Like just like old school, we're gonna play Browns football, blah 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 blah. And it ended up just being, words. But I'm just I please resign Nick Chubb. The next jersey I want to own, and I know we're on a random tangent here, but please, I just want to buy a Nick Chubb jersey. That's all I want with my life. I just want, and you know what? Even if he isn't a Brown for long term, I'll probably eventually own one just because he's that great. But it would be so nice if he was just here for the long term.
And we kind of alluded to this last week. We talked about Demetric Felton's ability to potentially replace Kareem Hunt, which could lead to the money. I'm hearing a lot of guys that really believe he gets that he probably gets franchise tagged at least the first year, and I think that's probably I think that's probably where we're going. We got some people over here jumping in the comments here. This is my uncle. This is my uncle Michael. He's a good dude. Bought a Chris Spielman Browns jersey and he retired before. Yes, I remember that. And if I'm not mistaken, you have worn that jersey to Browns games, so I understand that. T. Rich sacrificed himself.
He did.
For Nick Chubb.
He did.
Okay, guys, let's get into what we wanted to talk about here. Keep the questions in the comments coming, though. Of course, we love it. I wanted to say a big thank you before we kind of get into this, the good topics that we've got here to talk about tonight, because combined between YouTube and Nick's Twitter,
and yours,
yeah. Well, I just meant that the video was on yours.
Oh, yeah.
So from between the Periscope, last week's episode is up to nearly 1,800 views. And I can't believe anybody wants to look at my face that much for that long. So I'm incredibly thankful. We love having you guys here. So let's dive right into it. Okay. So I think I'm screaming at the microphone again. I can hear myself echoing. All right. So let's get into the Baker Wars, Nick. Me and you talked about it last week. I'll give you the opportunity to lead it off because you were the one in the full-on battle with it. Aaron Rodgers, and it seems more and more that Aaron Rodgers wants out of Green Bay.
Yeah.
And I understand where he's coming from. I understand the people that say, hey, you signed a contract. I get both sides of it, but I get where Aaron Rodgers is coming from. But of course, just like it did with Deshaun Watson, there's the Baker haters. Baker could win the MVP in the Super Bowl this year. They will still be there.
Yeah.
But they were coming after people. The Baker Wars happened. I sent you several text messages that said something along the lines of, I'm taking the day off because it's hostile on here.
It very much was.
And I was like, and I made my comments and I said some things. So the floor is you, Nick. The floor is yours, but apparently you're also the floor. Baker Mayfield. Wait, hold on. Let me put this up here. I typed this out for this part. Here we go. The franchise quarterback.
The franchise QB.
Yours.
So, well, thank you. There's a bunch of different angles you can come at this from, but I think the most legitimate one is probably the way that Andrew Berry is going to approach it from, right? And that's from an analytical place. And so we all know that Aaron Rodgers is coming off an MVP season, and nobody can dispute that. He is great, and I get that. But when you look at the two quarterbacks, you have Aaron Rodgers, who is going on 38, right? And you have Baker Mayfield, who is currently 26. And so a lot of people have said, well, we know how much better Aaron Rodgers is than Baker Mayfield right now. And we know that would immediately put the Browns as if not a shoo-in for the Super Bowl, they're Super Bowl favorites. Mm-hmm. And so the first piece of that is you look at what the Packers have been able to do with Aaron Rodgers, and they've made one Super Bowl, right? And I know that it's not the exact same situation, and that the Browns roster is objectively better than where the Packers is right now. But then you have to consider, okay, so what do the Browns have to actually give up to get Aaron Rodgers? Like where do the weaknesses come? And you look as well just at price, and you say, Baker Mayfield's super cheap this year, and with his option picked up, I believe he's making somewhere around $20 million next year, which
I think it's 17 or 18.
Okay, so there you go. So for 2 more years, you've got cheap Baker, where you can continue, and because you look at all the moves the Browns have been able to do, to make all the free agents they've been able to sign, and that's all because Baker's cheap right now. Well, a lot of Browns are cheap right now, but if you bring in Aaron Rodgers, all of that goes out the window, right? And so this great roster, that's what everyone says. They're like, the Browns roster is one of the best in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers immediately makes them a Super Bowl contender. Okay, so for this year, I could see that, right? Because you're still in a place where you have money. But beyond 1 year, right? Then suddenly you've got all these guys. We know the list of guys that the Browns potentially could pay, right? So I won't go down all that, but if you're trading for Aaron Rodgers, you are basically saying, okay, we need to win the Super Bowl this year because this is the best our roster is going to get. And I don't see someone so focused on analytics saying pushing all the chips in the middle for 1 year. They've since Sashi Brown started all of this, right, and accumulating picks and all this. The whole design was to build a sustained long-term contender, right? And so I just don't see, there are so many things that can go wrong in one season that can say, so if we know that the Browns roster is only going to be this good for one season, and you make this trade and something goes wrong, the whole thing, you've destroyed all your entire long-term build because you're giving picks. It's over. Right. So just for me personally, give me give me 10 shots at contending at years of different opportunities to get there over one. I understand that you're stacking the deck for at least one season, perhaps two. But over the long term, I think you benefit far more from keeping your picks. If we already have one of the best rosters in the NFL, then you're right there anyway.
Mhm.
So, and we still, and the last point I want to make is we still have not had Baker in a second year of any offense. So anyone saying, "Oh, well, he's Kirk Cousins," or he's only ever going to be Kirk Cousins, how can you say we know what he can be when he hasn't even had any opportunity to legitimately grow into a system? And so for me, when you look at those things, you look at his age, you look at the potential of what he can be, and you look at what the Browns would have to give up. None of it for me, and I don't think for a guy so focused on an analytics make any sense.
Well, I was going to say this, but she already said it. Preach. I mean, I was going to tell you, you know what? And I'll start in on it on my little rant about this little situation. Cause I'll build off of what you said. I'll echo everything you said. All right. So first I'm going to start with the same thing I said with Deshaun Watson. Okay. When that conversation happened, if you tell me right now, if you ask me, gun to my head, who's the better quarterback, I'll tell you it's Aaron Rodgers. I think you're delusional if you say otherwise. As I think we'll kind of get into, maybe not tonight, maybe we will. We'll see how we are on time. I believe Baker Mayfield this year firmly cements himself in the top 10. That's where I believe he already is. I know guys like our friend Sean on Twitter don't believe he is, but believes Sean's, and I love the way Sean goes about it. I know you're laughing because I know you saw some of the things he's been on a roll this week, man. I love some of that stuff he's been putting out there. But he said, hey, be more consistent for me. He goes, I don't think he can do it, but if he goes out there, I'll be the first one to eat my words. And I'm like, and that's true. Baker, the last 8 games of the season, was a top 10 quarterback. But guess what? That was 8 games of the season. Do I think he'll be that guy for all 17 games if he's healthy? I do. But for you out there that are telling me, well, be that first, I'll say, okay, that's fine. But this is where I'm going to go with. And I got like a million things rushing through, and I'm trying to get them all out here and just vomit them all over you guys. So you say, is he better? Is Deshaun Watson better? Well, maybe. But what you're going to have to give up to get him for that marginal upgrade, the team's no longer better. And I think some people said, well, they still would be better this year with Aaron Rodgers. And even with what you might give up, okay. But let me throw something out there. Let's say Jack Conklin and Wyatt Teller go down. Let's say Nick Chubb goes down again. Let's say OBJ goes down again. Now you've mortgaged everything for this 1-year run. It just doesn't make sense. And that's taking how good I think Baker Mayfield is going to be out of the equation. Just from an analytical and overall business standpoint, it makes no sense to me. Think about the trade that was suggested. I don't remember who it was that wrote it at ESPN, but this was the breakdown of it, right? It was Baker Mayfield, David Njoku, and 2 first-round picks. Hold on a second. I get it. It's a quarterback to a quarterback standpoint. You're getting Josh Jackson back as part of it. My dog's coming in here. He's probably going to mess up the bed. So if you see him like waggling back there, I know he's leaving. But anyway, yeah, I don't care about Josh Jackson coming back as a corner prospect. Lose me with that. David Njoku is the best tight end on this team. So you're telling me my quarterback for a quarterback. Okay. I'm there with you. The best tight end on this team and 2 first-round picks. Well, what happens if we can't pay Wyatt Teller and we need a guard next year? I think Drew Forbes or James Hudson would step in and become the right guard. But I'm just saying, I'm throwing all these things out here. Andrew Berry plans for everything that could possibly happen. Andrew Berry, I never see Andrew Berry trading a first-round pick, let alone 2. That just seems ludicrous. Look at where Houston is not having first-round picks. and having a garbage team because of what Bill O'Brien did. And I don't care who their coach is and how good he may or may not be. They don't have the ability to acquire talent because you mortgaged it. You mortgaged it all because Bill O'Brien was trying to save his job, and you thought it was a good idea to make him his coach and the GM. It doesn't make any sense to me, because here's the thing, and this is exactly what I'm getting at. Long-term sustainability of success is the name of the game. Absolutely. What did Andrew Berry tell us? What did he tell us about this draft? It's not just about the now. Okay, so somebody who went and drafted not just for the now but for the future wants to then say, fuck it, throw it out the window and mortgage it all? Baker Mayfield, to me, will be in the MVP race this year. I firmly believe that. Book it, take it to the bank. But taking that out of it, you're telling me you get Aaron Rodgers, you win a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers has one Super Bowl. Guess how many NFC championships he has?
One. Well, he's won one.
Guess who also has one? Rex Grossman. Cry me a river. Okay. He's 1-3 in the championship game. Tom Brady turned the ball over time after time after time in that NFC championship this year, and he did nothing. Nothing. My dad was telling me today, his fourth quarter comebacks in his career, he only has like 17. If you were down late, I would take last year's fourth quarter Baker Mayfield over him. Do you remember 2 years ago in the NFC Championship what San Francisco did to them?
Ooh, yeah.
I'm not dogging on him, because I think, for me, the purest thrower of the football I've ever seen is Aaron Rodgers. But as a overall winner, now listen, if you were saying a 38-year-old Tom Brady, I mean, the writing is just there. And I'm not saying I ride with 6. I put that tweet out. It got lots of attention. I will ride or die, and I will die on the Baker Mayfield hill. And I will gladly accept any apologies when he balls out this year. And I will gladly apologize to you if he doesn't, which isn't going to happen. But that's where I am on this, man. Like, if Hooper doesn't step it up this year, he's gone, and we re-signed Njoku. I think that's how it's going to go. So what you're telling me is, if I mortgage and I give you Njoku with that in that Aaron Rodgers trade, I got to keep Hooper in that crappy contract, or I'm looking for a tight end. Oh, wait, I don't have a first-round pick.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So even if, say Houston has Deshaun Watson this year, for as great as he is, it's like you said, they still, you've got your franchise quarterback, and you still have zero way to grow from that. And now you look, so the Browns picked 26 this year, and obviously we haven't seen Greg Newsome play yet, but basically all consensus there is that he should be at least a significant contributor, and a lot of people are really high on him. And so I do too. And so the most valuable thing is when you pick a guy in the first round, you've got that guy cheaply for 5 years if it works out. And you look at Baker and you say, okay, well we're at least looking at a decade here of Baker, assuming it goes well. So the only way, and because everybody constantly is all worried about who we're gonna pay, who we're not gonna pay, moving forward. So and obviously that's not gonna be easy to decide who to pay. The only way to continue to build on that roster is to have those picks.
Yeah. You're going to lose. We suffered it. We've suffered our first casualty of a good player with Sheldon Richardson, and you and I got on Twitter Live and we discussed that. It's going to continue to happen. But do you understand why, the good teams, the Kansas Cities, in as much as I hate it, the Pittsburgh Steelers of the world and the New England Patriots, it's because, hey, we lost a linebacker. Let's go get a linebacker. Or, hey, we couldn't pay, we couldn't pay our right tackle. Like somewhere down the line, maybe if you pay Wyatt Teller, you might see them move on. Jack Conklin's deal is only a couple more years, and they may let Jack Conklin walk. Although, man, that dude is just the perfect right tackle in Stefanski's offense, if you ask me. But you may have to do that because it may not make any sense once you pay Denzel and you pay God willing Nick Chubb and you pay Baker Mayfield. I mean, it might not be sustainable. And then you go out there and you draft you a right tackle. And that's how you keep rolling. That's how this train keeps on going. They're not mortgaging assets. It doesn't make sense when you have a franchise quarterback to take a marginal upgrade at franchise quarterback. But that's just where I stand on it. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments, people that are watching now, people that are watching the replay. I will continue to talk more Baker Mayfield. I'm going to do some more. It's the off season, so we got a lot of time to do some film work. We're working our way through the draft prospects. I'm going to get some work done on Baker Mayfield's second half of the season and just kind of show you. That's a. I want Wyatt. Let me make it very clear. I want to find every way to pay both of those guys. Those two pieces specifically, Wyatt Teller and Nick Chubb, if that's where we're at.
I just want to say that for forever, I mean, obviously, so nobody ever blames Aaron Rodgers for the Packers falling short and not getting the Super Bowl, right? Like every year, it's the Packers don't play defense, the Packers don't play defense, so that's what's holding Aaron Rodgers back.
Or he doesn't have enough weapons.
Yeah, well, that too. But it's like you look at a team like Baltimore. For as much as I hate them, it seems like every single year they lose a key free agent, whether it's Zadarius Smith, whether they just lost Judon, and his name escapes me right now, but he signed with the Jets as a linebacker.
Bart Scott, or are you talking a while ago?
No, I know just last year. The name's irrelevant, but my point is they lose key defenders every year, and then still Baltimore plays great defense every year. And why? Because they have their picks to continue building. It's like so yes, you could have a 1-year window of this great Aaron Rodgers, but you're going to lose guys, and then so it's like people were saying, okay, well if the Browns trade for Aaron Rodgers, they're going to have like 2 to 3 year window of contending, and it's like, okay, but you look at where the Browns are at, and they're going to lose guys, and then they're not going to have the ability to get, and so then it'll be the same thing.
It is. CJ Mosley.
It's CJ Mosley.
There it is. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you. Yep, I couldn't.
And so that's my point, though. Is we've seen how much the Browns needed to add to get to this point where we think the defense is going to be good. And so yes, for a year, maybe that puts you in a great spot. But to me, it's not worth completely destroying the long-term build that the Browns have here.
Absolutely. And just a little clarification. Should have prefaced that saying I like Wyatt Teller. No, I completely understand where you were going at, and I could see a situation. I know the Browns really like Drew Forbes. I like Drew Forbes a lot. He opted out last year. He was actually, a lot of people thought he would beat Wyatt Teller out for the right guard spot last year. But I know they like Wyatt Teller a lot, and I like Drew Forbes a lot. And also James Hudson, the 4th round pick this year. They have an idea of potentially busting him inside. I think he still plays best at tackle. We'll kind of see how that goes when I break down the film a little bit later on him. So, I mean, I think that's where we're at. That's where we're at with Baker Mayfield. That's where we're at. To me, I am not trying to say right now that Baker's better, but this notion that if Aaron Rodgers comes here, he's winning a Super Bowl. Well, he hasn't won a damn Super Bowl out there against teams where he looked better. He was better than Tom Brady this year. Tom Brady was not good in that NFC Championship. And he was being gifted so many opportunities where if he's the greatest he's this be all savior at quarterback that some fans are acting like if he came here, he should have been in the Super Bowl. That's the way you're telling me. If that exact situation happens again, but he's in Cleveland, well, we know how Cleveland is with quarterbacks. So let's move on. We're screaming at the screen. We're screaming at the screen. I want to say a small thing real quick, and I'll get your opinion on this. Talking about the virtual and voluntary workouts. I don't really have a huge opinion on it. And I'll say this because they've always been voluntary to begin with, the voluntary parts of it. I'm trying to get this light so that there we go. Stops glaring on the glasses. They've always been voluntary, the part that's coming up, the voluntary, and they want to switch all those voluntary workouts to virtual like we had last year, in which I understand where the PA is coming from, and I understand them telling players to boycott these. I get it, but I don't think it's fair for some players, and this is where I'll get at, like them telling these rookies to boycott rookie mini camp. Like Tom Brady went on it last week somewhere, and he went on this passionate call just for 6 minutes. Boycott, don't do this, whatever. And it's like, I bet you 2021 Tom Brady would not have said that to 6th round pick Tom Brady, 20 some years ago. And this is what I'm saying. For the rookies that have like a 5% chance, like these, especially these undrafted guys that are just getting rookie mini camp invites. They're not even undrafted free agents. These guys have got like a 5% chance to make this team. And you're trying to, they have rookie mini camp, OTAs, training camp, and 3 preseason games. And some of those guys aren't going to get invites to training camp unless they show up for these rookie camps when it's just rookies. Not any of them have any legs up on any other ones, at least in the undrafted side of it. They have such a thin window to try to make these teams. And I felt so bad for undrafted free agents last year when there wasn't a rookie mini camp. I think it's unfair because there's going to be a lot of rookies that are going to feel pressured. Although I've heard the rookie camps that have gone on so far, everybody's kind of showed up for. And then these voluntary OTAs, when you've got fringe players, guys like I'm not trying to be mean to the dude, but like Mac Wilson has been putting in off-season work. But I think because the Browns drafted 2 linebackers, he is a fringe player. He needs voluntary OTAs voluntary OTAs to make the training camp roster. And I think that these veterans that are not losing their spot, it's easy for them to say that, but it's not fair because I think they're trying to peer pressure them into not going. But these guys that are not comfortable or are barely have a shot of making this roster, it just doesn't seem right to me. I get what you're getting at, but at least let the rookies do their thing. And if you want to stay home and do virtual, I think teams should offer both. If you want to show up, show up. If not, we'll do all of our meetings virtually. And so it is fine because guess what? Odell hasn't been to an OTA in how long, like guys don't go to OTAs. If you don't want to go and you feel unsafe and things like that, just like with opting out last year, I fully support you if you don't want to go. But if people feel comfortable and are just trying to, get a job and make a roster, I don't think you should try to bully them into not going.
That's a really tough situation.
It is.
I hadn't considered that. I think so. We saw from a team perspective, we saw the Browns thrive with basically no offseason last year. So I'm not as worried about that. But from these individual guys, like somebody, for example, somebody like Dearness Johnson, right?
Yes.
Who now, is fighting with Demetric Felton for that spot. I can definitely understand why you would say, and these guys, they need that opportunity, right? They need as much of an opportunity to show what they bring to the table as they can.
Yeah.
So Yeah, that's a really tough play, especially when you have the union president on your team, right?
Who is clearly in favor of boycotting the in-person workouts.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying that I take a stance either way. I just like you can suggest what you want to suggest. But like they're already voluntary.
yeah,
Don't go if you don't want to go. That's okay. But if these players want to make rosters, I mean, it's just like if you're trying to fight for a job and the job offers you the voluntary, like you and I, let's say you and I apply for a job. We're both qualified. We've both done the job in college, for example, and they offer you and I the opportunity to come in and do the job for a day, with assistance, obviously, and that'll help them in the process. And there's 15 of us that are going for this job. If I think I've got it in the bag and I don't want to go because I think my resume speaks for itself, then I'm not going to go. But if you're like, man, my resume is not quite where I want it to be now, I'm going to go and show up. And then you show out and you outdo your resume, you outdo your draft status, you outdo your college stats, your athletic scores, you look better than your pro day, that kind of thing. You go out there and you do that and they say, Nick, you got the job. That may have been your only chance to get the job over the other 14 guys. We don't know. I just don't think it's fair to those fringe guys. It's easy for JC Treader to say that because he's an amazing football player and he's not going anywhere. The only way JC Treader would go anywhere is as a cap casualty, not because he can't play. And if he goes somewhere because of a cap casualty, he's going to play somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
That's my 2 cents. I know you don't give a shit, but
no, absolutely. I think it's fair because I will say, it's like these guys, even the guys I feel like sometimes we forget this, that even the guys on the fringe of the roster have been working their entire lives to get to where they are.
Yeah.
So to shortchange them an opportunity is, I mean, this is it, right? Like this is your one shot. So no, I wasn't sure where you were gonna go with this, but I definitely it's a great point. I think it's a great point.
I'm not that crazy guy shouting, "No, you get back to work." Cause like, do you realize what they like kind of go through the sacrifice, especially last year, barely being able to see any family because of COVID protocols? Yeah, they need the off season to spend more time back home and things like that. And I'm not trying to get in the way of that. That's why I say if you want to go, go. If you don't want to go and you want to stay with your family in Texas or Florida or wherever it might be, go for it. So we're going to transition a little bit. We're going to start our draft profile series. I'll tell you guys why, because I bet people are like, okay, so they're going to start diving into our play. See, I really like this idea because, I watched a bunch of tape on a whole bunch of players, but not deep dive on a bunch of players because you don't know who they're going to take. Well, now we know who they got. So I was like, Nick, you want to do some deep dives? He's like, yeah, absolutely. And I chose Tony Fields randomly to choose a 5th round pick because Lane Adkins did his rounds post-draft, who now follows me on Twitter, and my life has been made. Just so everybody knows. I love Lane. He's fantastic. And so, but he kept talking on all these podcasts about this Tony Fields kid. He says, don't you sleep on this kid. He can play. I said, okay. And I told Nick that. And I said, man, he's really been talking this guy up. And I put out a tweet and I said, this guy finds the ball and he puts a hat on it. And I love guys that find the ball and put a hat on it. So I said, hey, let's do a little deep dive. So are you ready for my Tony Fields scouting report? I
can't wait. Let's do this.
I'm so excited. I wrote it down on my phone. And then I'm suspiciously not prepared. I will preface this saying that Pete Smith over at I think his @ is _Pete Smith _. I want to say that's his Twitter handle, but he runs Browns Digest at SI. and he's on Locked On Browns a lot. He put out a profile as well, wrote an article, and Tony Fields is one of the ones. I like this comparison right here actually a lot. He's a Fred Warner like football player. I like that comparison a lot. I did a lot of film study on him this past weekend and yesterday, and I love that comparison. That's a great comparison for Tony Fields. He's I like to call him the heat-seeking missile, because he will find it and he will close it. So the first thing I said that is a knock on Tony Fields is that he is undersized. That is where I think he falls to becoming a 5th round pick. I think that has a lot to do with it. But here are my bullet points, and then I'll ask you, kind of what you think, and if you've got any questions about what I wrote down here. So he's got amazing sideline to sideline speed. I think his athletic score and his 40 time do not tell how he plays on the field. He covers ground very well. He has great instinct and he trusts them. He is not going to be caught flat-footed. He is not going to be standing still, Mac Wilson, and not knowing anything about what's going on. He is his head is on a swivel. His feet are moving. Even if he's just chopping his feet, he is not going to be caught out of position very often. He is very decisive and he is explosive. So he sees the ball and he's going to go hit the ball. He doesn't give up on a play. Yeah, I think he doesn't take bad angles. That's what I was going to say. He takes very good angles when he's running down backside. He chases running backs down with speed. He doesn't give up on a play if someone blows by him. He's undersized and he will get bodied up by linemen. He is a little bit easier for those linemen if they can get to the second level or if he's rushing the passer. I think West Virginia had him as an outside rusher a lot, at least in that Baylor game, and he did have a sack in that game, so he is a very capable guy. He's explosive, and I think he surprises tight ends by his athletic ability because it just doesn't look like he's that explosive, but he is, and so he'll beat him around the edge, and he sometimes can get to the quarterback as a result. He's his best in coverage. He is a great coverage linebacker. I think if you combined I keep wanting to say Justin Fields. If you combine Tony Fields with JOK, I could see Malcolm Smith actually not making this roster as a result. I'm not saying that's my prediction, but he reminds you of a little bit of a smaller Malcolm Smith is what Tony Fields kind of shows me. He reads it very well. He's not out of position. He reads and reactions and instincts are very good. He finds the ball and he hits the ball. Even if he doesn't make the play, he's in the area to make the play. He's got a couple of interceptions. Actually, if you really want to see where he's his best, go back and watch his 3 years at Arizona. I actually think he was better used at Arizona than he was at West Virginia. He's going to have to make this team on special teams. Let me say that. I'm telling you these good things about him. He gets bodied up, so he's not great in the run game. He will not give up on the run game. He's great covering running backs out of the backfield, which killed Cleveland on those swing passes. He does not get juked out in open field by running backs. So and he's great at covering tight ends. So he's got a lot of really good traits, but if it's a power running scheme, he is undersized at 220. I think 222, 224, I think is where he comes in at. He is undersized, so he can get bodied up. He will not give up. So he makes a ton of plays. I think he would make a ton of plays on special teams, and he would find the field. I think he makes this roster. Special teams is the only way he's going to do it. But Tony Fields is the kind of guy that if you want to move on from Malcolm Smith, and I'm not saying you do, but he does replace Malcolm Smith next year. And even if that's just because Malcolm Smith moves on and he kind of takes on that role. But he's a great coverage linebacker. He's more athletic than you think he is. He's a developmental prospect, but there's a lot to like there from Tony Fields.
Two of the things that you say really stick out to me, and that he can cover running backs coming out of the backfield, which is a huge killer that the Browns had all year, and especially tight ends, because I still, you know what, I still have nightmares of Week 1 against Baltimore where Mark Andrews just did whatever Mark Andrews felt like doing against the Browns, which has been a theme for I don't know what it is about tight ends, but it seems like no matter what defensive coordinator we have, no matter who's on our defense, we just get toasted by whatever.
It doesn't even matter if the tight end's any good.
No. Oh my God. So I know it's irrelevant because the Browns beat them, but like I think it was CJ Uzama had like a 9 catches or something.
Like 2 touchdowns.
What? How? Who?
The
guy had like the game of his life because so anything that fixes that problem, sign me up for, right? Because you cannot, especially anymore. Like the Steelers just used a 2nd round pick on a tight end, and I know everybody hates Ebron, but like Ebron's still pretty good. And then you got Mark Andrews, and like we said, even no name Cincinnati tight end, just like so, like it's like you need to be better there. And I liked what you said about his instincts, because when Lamar Jackson is rushing, is decides to take off, like there's no time for. I mean, we saw what he did to the Browns, right? And so anybody that is fast and instinctual is going to be way better at least containing Lamar than what we've had already. So to me,
containing them to like 7 yards instead of 30.
Please, honestly, anything. Oh, I was looking at a chart today, and it charted like all the I don't remember what the minimum rushes was, but basically, if you had a minimum rushing threshold, it charted how efficient they were, and it's like Lamar Jackson is far and away like at the top left, like the best place, and it's like, I mean, we know that's like his elite quality. So I don't think it's any coincidence that the Browns drafted this sideline to sideline speed at linebacker twice. Yeah, and exactly. There is nothing that kills the Browns more than tight ends. I don't know why. Every year, no defensive coordinators, linebackers, whatever. So hopefully, finally, that is something that we can stop just being destroyed by.
That's what I thought when JOK was drafted. Obviously, I mocked Tony Fields to us in the 4th round several times, so I actually thought in minor film review that he was actually probably even a higher prospect than he was when he ends up being drafted. I had him in the 4th round a couple of times. A lot of mocks he didn't fall that far, and I mean he's 222. I believe is what his weight is. He's somewhere in the 220s. We compared him to JOK, and the more I looked at him, I'm not sure they're all that similar. They can do a lot of the same things, but I think that Tony Fields is more comfortable at the mic, more as an inside backer, whereas JOK is the best in the slot. Like if you want to maximize JOK's ability, you put him in the slot. Have you seen some of these clips of JOK running with Devontae Smith?
Yes. Oh my.
This wasn't supposed to be a conversation about JOK, but I can't stop thinking about this guy.
Yeah. I don't know how because today there was a video posted about how JOK like just hits with this force that's very unique to him. Because they talked about a couple different variables, and just how he plays fearlessly and delivers these hits. And so for a guy to be able to hit like that and still cover guys as fast, I mean that's rare.
He's always looking to lay the boom.
Yeah.
We got to talk about. So we try to keep these things right around an hour. We're coming like 11 minutes up on an hour. We haven't talked about building the Browns. We got to talk about this building the Browns episode, because I want to say there's lots of things, and I got one point, and then I'll let you tell. I'll let you say some of your building the Browns stuff, because I know you were equally, if more, excited about that episode than me. We all have seen the memes about Kevin Stefanski doing this when they were about to get JOK. Did I do it right?
Yeah.
When they were about to get JOK, as they were training that card. I want to talk about Joe Woods and the first two picks, both picks. I want to talk about Joe Woods. My favorite thing ever is Joe Woods. And when two things, when Greg Newsome is drafted, when he walks into Andrew Berry and he just says, "Thank you." He says, it's like there's such cohesion and togetherness in that building. And I know we harp on it and we talk about it, but like, I'm 30 years old and I've never seen this kind of cohesion in Cleveland. We've never, he goes in there and he says, "Thank you." And then of course, Stefanski, my favorite, he's like, "Man, we ain't giving you, no more players for Joe." He said, "No more players for Joe." But then when they got JOK, in Woods just busts into the office and he's like, and he's just fired. They all reacted like we did, guys. They could not believe, and you could tell, and D. Podesta talked about it when he got to 40 and then he got to 45. He said once he got to about 45, 48 and they started making calls, they were like, "We might be able to do this, guys. We might be able to pull this off." And I still think that overall, I love all of this, the excitement, the true, like seeing coaches, like they hadn't even, like Nick talked about this. They hadn't even talked to Justin Gilbert and they made him the freaking 8th overall pick. They hadn't spoken to the guy. These guys are acting like children because of how good they think these draft picks. I can see Nick's frustration with the Justin Gilbert. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like pour salt in an open wound. But when they are showing on NFL Network the clips of JOK after they had made the pick and they're all collected around and JOK lowers that shoulder and they all go, "Oh!" Chef's kiss.
Love it. You know what? I tweeted a little about this today, but the thing that resonated with me the most is when the Browns draft JOK, Kevin Stefanski's just like gives a little there's my hand. Gives a little fist. Is like explosive. It's like your offensive head coach is as excited to draft this guy as the defensive staff is. And if that doesn't tell you what they collectively think of him, then nothing does. Right? Yeah. Because I mean obviously, Kevin Stefanski's head coach, but it just shows you how they all think he is going to impact the Browns and what he can do for them.
It's all schematic. I think it's all schematic. He just fits perfectly into what they want to do.
Yeah. And that's the thing that resonated with me so much. Jadeveon Clowney said it. JOK said it. John Johnson said it too. They all say this staff has a plan for me specifically. And so that's why they're so confident, because they know exactly what the staff wants to do, and the staff that's drafting them, unlike Arizona, which we referenced I think last week, has an actual plan for these guys that they're bringing in. And so to me that's the most important thing, because you can take all the talent you want, but if you don't have a plan to use it, good luck to you. You see what happened with Isaiah Simmons. I hope he ends up being a good player, but yeah. And that's the biggest difference from the Browns of old and the Browns of now. It's like when they drafted Barkevious Mingo, right? They were like, "Oh, well, he's a hybrid." The guy's still. I think he's still in the NFL. Has been in the NFL. Yeah, and so credit to him, right? But obviously, the Browns drafted him with zero plan.
Where he was top 10, right?
It was high. I don't remember. It's been a bit. I try to block that out.
We didn't know who he was.
Yeah. But so to me, that's what gives me so much confidence is you see that they know what they want to do, and like you said, DePodesta said that they had already talked about this. They're like, well, it's like they're making contingencies for if this guy falls, if this happens in the draft, which just shows their preparation. But so they knew if he falls that they wanted to get him, and they got him.
I just thought about this because I think Stephen Thomas was talking about this with Jake Burns on the OBR Film Breakdown podcast. They had a plan for Andrew Berry to draft while his wife was potentially giving birth. Now, we got luckily, they got into a position where their daughter was born the morning of, and it was not a situation, but they had this router and like this portable router and like this battery, but like this, that was awesome. Do you think Freddie could have even turned on that damn thing?
No.
Listen, I just looked over into the chat and our boy is back. Our boy is back over here.
Ed, hello.
He is back. He's over here. He's letting us know. And it's perfect. I like this. Mm-hmm. Woods had the joy of a kid who got a PS5 and an Xbox on Christmas.
Yep.
He
got it all.
My head would have just absolutely exploded. More people letting everybody know that Nick Carnes does not miss. He gave a description. It's out there. I don't know, man. It feels like, I know that people are telling me, to push some brakes and things like that. We don't want 2019 again. But if you cannot see how this is not 2019, like Freddie, I don't even know if he knew the name of his offensive coordinator. I do, but the dude went to Georgia and he was like, now I get to coach football again. I'm sorry, what? Like,
the difference in preparation is staggering. That's the thing is just you can see how much homework they've done compared to all the people that came before them. And that's what gives me so much confidence. That's why I feel like this is different. I did want to talk to you about one thing before, because I know we're hitting on the hour here. But sign me up. I want Pittsburgh week 1.
Oh,
that's what I want. Give it to me. I want to beat them 3 weeks in a row. 3 weeks.
I just got a text message for a side note on our Baker Mayfield thing, and then we will do that. My dad said the fourth, just for comparison, Aaron Rodgers, however long he's been in the league, right? 17 fourth quarter comebacks. Baker Mayfield already has 6.
Wow.
Once again, I'm not trying to elevate Baker above him yet. But in terms of winning, okay? Now, I just found this out. I don't know if you know this. Everybody's week 1 schedule will be released in the morning tomorrow. The rest of the schedule at 8 p.m. Okay. I saw that on Twitter. I want to say Brad Stainbrook had it first. I want to say that's where I saw it on Twitter. So we will know. We will know in the morning. By the time Nick Carnes sends out another tweet that will not miss, you will know. That's probably what the tweet will be about. Let's be real.
Oh yeah. I can't. It's gonna be so much fun. I know I said three weeks in a row, but you know what I mean. 3 consecutive weeks of football. I want to beat Pittsburgh. Like let's just put the nail in the coffin of their stupid dynasty.
Because we can't win week 1. Here's Ed out here just giving us just straight fire facts. Yes, let's nail that coffin closed, man. So the Steelers put this out. This is what's been going on. If you guys didn't see what's going on Brown's Twitter, but the Steelers put out from their official account, who do you want week 1? And all of their fans are in there. We want the Browns. We want the Browns. And I'm going to tell you what. I want them. And this is why. We've all been talking shit. They've talked shit to us. We've talked shit to them. All rightfully so. Because we all have a leg to stand on, right?
Yep.
We beat them in the playoffs when I was told we could never, ever beat Big Ben in a meaningful game. That's what I was told. We did. We also got the shit canned, including last year, for the last 18 years. So I see where they're coming at, right?
Yeah.
Screw them. I don't like them. But I see where they're coming at. So it's like, okay, but we've all, and I love it. I love Brown's Twitter. Everybody's like, you guys have one good season in 17 years and all you do is talk crap. Well, yeah, we never thought we'd be able to talk crap like this again. Of course we are. I've waited my entire life for this. So I want them week 1, man. I want them. I don't want Kansas City. People are like, let's get Kansas City. I don't want Kansas City until our defense has a chance to kind of click, because like, I just don't want that. But I want every single bit of Pittsburgh week 1. I want Jadeveon Clowney and I want Myles Garrett. I just want to bear him down. I would just want a guy named Blake to somehow be out there so that he can school Cam freaking Hayward again, like he did in that January day in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Were they resting their starters in that game? Because I don't remember TJ Watt or Cam Hayward doing any damn thing in that game either.
Against backup guards, practice squad guards.
They're not even a practice. That was the 4th string guard out there, and Cam Hayward did jack.
My dude, I think it was Michael Dunn, has like his girlfriend or something, running him through the different sets out in the street,
out in the parking lot of his apartment complex, bro. And he schooled Cam Hayward.
Yeah, TJ Watt casually zero sacks, nothing. Yeah.
The first time Collinsworth and Al Michaels talked about TJ Watt was when they were talking about how they hadn't said TJ Watt's name.
And a quick thing. So something that gets overlooked because it was against, like, I know it was against like some of their second team, but Nick Chubb in week 17 to make the playoffs, Nick Chubb has the longest touchdown run against the Steelers since Jim Brown. I don't remember how long it was, but he was like the first Brown.
40 or 45.
He can do better. He can do better, and he's going to do better in week 1, and that's what I want. That I want it. I want it more than I can even tell you.
I'm with you, Ed. Bring it on. I want every bit. I want every bit of Pittsburgh. So, guys, we will be back live next Tuesday, 8 p.m. here. Our DMs are open. Our Twitter handles are on here for anybody who doesn't have them or is watching us over on the YouTubes. We'll know week 1 tomorrow. We'll know week 1 tomorrow. Football's only roughly 4 months away. I know, but we will have more great content for you guys on Tuesdays to try to get you through.
Please, anyone who's here or who sees this video, it would mean the world to us if you would subscribe to the Barking Brown Show on YouTube. If the video gets uploaded in about 24 hours, so like on Monday. Wow, I'm confused. On Wednesday, the video is going to be up. If you would like that, or you would subscribe to our YouTube, it would mean the world to both of us. Because this has been great, and we would like to continue to do it. Jacob and I have some ideas that we have on the sidelines that as we go, we definitely would like to grow and do more for all of you. So thank you to everyone who's here. I can't tell you how much fun this is and how much I appreciate everyone who watches.
We appreciate you. Thank you for those kind words. Our boy is back, Ed, in the comments. Ed. We love you, Ed. Hopefully we get to meet Ed. I want to meet Ed. I really love that. Yeah, I do. I love him.
I've been friends with Darunia. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, for a long time now. Thank you. I everybody who's here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Nick will have this video. He'll unpin last week's episode and then pin this week's episode to the top of his Twitter if you do want to watch that there, or you want to tell your friends to watch it there. But do, like Nick said, go over, like, comment, subscribe, retweet, tell us things on YouTube, DM us, let us know what we can do better. I think somewhere down the line, we might pull some guests in. I got a couple of people potentially lined up. Maybe someone named Andy Lytle, who is a hell of a follow. And if you don't listen to Not the Same Browns podcast, you should fix that. Also, he's a great horror movie genre connoisseur. And I'm very excited because the new Conjuring comes out next month. I'm into that sort of thing.
Okay.
It's scary. But some love from Ed. We love you, Ed. So with that, I think we're going to sign off, guys. We will talk to you guys next week. We will break down the schedule. I will tell you when I will be in Cleveland, so that hopefully you guys, I want to meet every single one of you guys that I can. So please, I'm going to tell you guys right now, we're looking at a warm weather game because I am a pussy. So I'm not going to lie about it. Warm weather game. I have a good friend of mine that's a Detroit Lions fan. So if that falls in a warm weather game, I think I'm going to try for that. I also am a big Ohio State guy, so I wouldn't mind seeing Justin Fields in Cleveland. So I might be making my way up for that one. So that is where we potentially are on that one. And just because apparently she thought it's funny, there's my wife in the other room.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. I got to tell you, Jacob, I met up with, so for like the first time at the draft, I met up with more Browns Twitter than I could possibly even shout out. It was amazing. And so I cannot wait until Cleveland is just packed with Browns fans. Oh, it's going to be great. I cannot wait.
We cannot wait. We love each and every one of you. Until next week, go Browns.
Go Browns.